Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. Welcome to Chilltown Hoops. I am your host. You know what time it is. We're here to talk about pro basketball and the finals. We're here to discuss the pressure now being moved to the Mavericks. The fact that the Boston Celtics, all they really did was hold serve. That's it. They didn't do anything else except hold serve. Nothing more, nothing less. They held serve. And because of that, now the Heat moves to the Mavericks. Right? Now the Heat moves to the Mavericks. So here we are. Right? Here we are. Here we are. As of right now, here we are with the Dallas Mavericks, with the Boston Celtics, basically playing as one of the best collective units in the game. There haven't been many collective units as good as this. There hasn't been. And with them doing what they're doing, they've basically been dominating this series. They've been winning this series in dominating fashion. And if you look at the game plan, right? Thanks, Stuart. I appreciate it, brother. What up, Classic? If you look at the game plan, if you look at the game plan, it's very similar to what Oklahoma City was doing to Dallas. Get the ball out of Luka's hands, make those other guys make shots, soft closeouts, keep PJ Washington occupied in the corner. Don't let him make open shots in the corner because that's where he wants to shoot. Don't let him do that. And when you do that, now you put yourself in a position with the ball as the Boston Celtics where now you're up in the series. Make Derek Jones Jr. make shots. Make PJ Washington make shots. I was of the belief that your best, if you're the Boston Celtics, your best defense is your offense. Get Luka in action and keep him in action on the regular. Get him in action, keep him in action on the regular. Make him guard, right? Make him guard. And when you make him guard, that takes away from the other stuff that they're doing. And it's working. Because when you make him guard, you put Kyrie Irving in switches and in mismatches. Not only do you put him in switching and mismatches, you put Exum in mismatches. You put Green in mismatches. All of these guys, you put them in mismatches. And it's fantastic. It's absolutely great. So I think that this unit collectively, they just look great. And the difference with the game plan that's being executed by the Celtics as opposed to what Oklahoma City did was the Celtics got better offense. As opposed to what Minnesota did, the Celtics got better offense. And Dallas can't counter that. That's the problem. Right? That's the problem. The problem is that Dallas can't counter that. If they could counter that, then maybe we could have a series. Now again, all the Celtics did was hold serve. Of course, you're going to shoot the basketball in your building a lot different than you would on the road. Your role players, they may play different than they would on the road. There's a level of confidence that you have at home than you have on the road. And with that being said, right? With that being said, the Dallas Mavericks offense has to start clicking. Only it hasn't. Not because they were on the road, but because of the scheme. I think Drew Holiday's been doing a great job against Kyrie Irving. I think Derek White Jason Tatum have been doing as good a job as you can do on Luka. I mean, there's really not much. There's really not much you can do with Luka. I think he's the best scorer in the game. It's pretty difficult to keep him out of the lane, right? I think that he's at I think that I don't think that there's anybody that does it. I don't think there's anybody who does it easier than him, right? I don't think that there's anybody that does it easier than him in the game. And there's some damn good scorers in the game. Joel Embiid, Joker, Tatum, Devin Booker, Donovan Mitchell, James, KD, Irv. There's some damn good scorers in the game. I don't think any of those guys do it easier. I don't think any of those guys do it easier than Luka. But with that being said, they did a good job yesterday in the second half slowing him down. A great job yesterday in the second half in slowing him down. And because of that, right? Because of that, when you slow him down, plus what Drew Holiday is doing against Kyrie Irving, now you make PJ Washington consistently make shots. Now you make Derek Jones Jr. consistently make shots. Running good, Will. How you doing, brother? Now you make Derek Jones Jr. consistently make shots. Now you make Green, Exum. Now you make those guys consistently make shots. You make Derek Lively, who looks like not out of place. He does not look out of place. Hi, Kenny. He does not look out of place. It's just a little bit too fast for him. How about that? I think he has himself a little bit too hyped for what's going on. I think he has himself a little bit too hyped for what's going on right now. And don't get me wrong, I'm not overreacting over 2 games. What I do know for a fact, and I will not argue this, I know for a fact that they can't come back to Boston down 3-1. They come back to Boston down 3-1, the series is over. There's people telling me they don't think this series is coming back to Boston. They think the series is over. I'm not going that far. I know they got to win game 3, though. They have to win game 3. The Mavericks lose game 3, we're not coming back to Boston. I don't think that there's a chance in hell that we come back to Boston if they lose game 3. Game 4, that's something different. I think Joe Mazzulla as a coach has been doing a damn good job. I do. I think he's been doing a great job as a coach. I think that the way he lets his team work it out, right? The way he lets his team work it out. I hear a lot of you guys talk about how Joe Mazzulla doesn't call timeouts and his adjustments are different. No, that's not necessarily true. No, that is not. That is not the case. And because of that, right? Because of that, they develop more confidence in each other. Phil Jackson was a master at that, right? Phil Jackson was a master at that. He was fantastic at letting his team work it out. Pop was good at that too, right? Pop was good at that too. And when you do that, what you do is you give your crew so much more confidence in themselves to work it out. Right? You give your crew so much more confidence to work it out. Now, don't get me wrong. I understand where timeouts come from. You got the beginning of the third quarter. So you got the beginning of the second half. You probably got a 2 or 3 possession game, and you're going back and forth bucket for bucket, and you decide, yo, timeout. Because what you don't want to do is you don't want to give this team momentum. Excuse me. You don't want to give this team momentum. All right, I can get with that. 100% I could get with that. You don't want to give this team momentum. But when you're up 14 and this team goes on a 9-0 run, or you're up 17 and this team goes on an 8-0 run, you don't call timeout. Yo, work it out. Work it out. Get it together. The action that you guys run, right? The action that you guys run, not only the action that you guys run, your effort is why they're getting back in the game. They're trying not to fall. They're trying not to fall into a seismic hole. They're not trying to fall into a Grand Canyon hole. So they're going to give all the effort that they possibly can to get back in the game. And Coach Mazzulla goes, work it out. Yeah, they went on an 8-0 run. No, we're not going to call timeout. We're not going to call timeout. And I like that about him. I also like how he forces the switching action with Dallas, where I get Kyrie Irving at the mid post or at the elbow. When I get Kyrie Irving switched on to Kristaps Porzingis, he can't do anything with him. Nothing. Absolutely nothing. He can't do anything with him. When I get Dante Exum switched on to Kyrie Irving, there's nothing he can do with him. Nothing. When I get Derek Jones Jr., where if Kristaps Porzingis is on the elbow and he's got Kyrie Irving on him, and instead of Jason Tatum holding, right? Instead of Jason Tatum holding, or instead of Jaylen Brown holding at the long ball line and holding that defender there, he completely clears out. So now it's just you and me. Now it's just you and me, nobody else. Peace, go. Now it's just you and me. That's an adjustment, right? That's a big time adjustment. And that switch that he gets, it's by design. That switch that he's getting is not that switch that Coach Mazzulla is getting with Jaylen Brown and Porzingis, where Kyrie Irving ends up switching on to Jaylen Brown. And he doesn't switch, right? That's what I mean when I say that. So I don't. I was supposed to get with my man Tone, but something happened and we weren't able to work it out. But I'm here. Yeah, I'm here. That's where I'm at. I had a problem yesterday with Jason Tatum. And at halftime, I was cursing him out. I was cursing him out. Because I know for a fact that he was better than that. And I was cussing him out. I said that if we were in the locker room, I would have cursed him out. As one of the players on that Boston Celtics team, if we were in the locker room, I'm cursing him out. We should be up 15 right now. We should be up double digits right now. But we're not, and we're not because you're not playing like you can play. I can appreciate the other stuff that he does because that other stuff, that equates to high-level basketball. Him getting in the paint, him drawing three guys, him getting paint touches, him getting to the rim. If he converts 2 or 3 of those layups, that's a 15-plus game. That's a 15-plus game if he converts 2 or 3 of those layups. But the fact that he looked more like he wasn't sure as a scorer, I was definitely digging what he was doing as a playmaker. Getting Drew Holiday involved, making the right reads for Al Horford, defensively, sliding his feet, beating guys to spots, poking the ball away from Kyrie Irving. I dug all of that. I thought that was great. But I said this earlier that at some point as a scorer, you got to assert your dominance as a scorer. And you are one of the better scorers in the game. And you don't have to sacrifice your playmaking for that because you're good enough. You are good enough that you can do both. In fact, you're good enough that you can do all of that. I said earlier that your best defense is your offense. I think that your best defense is your offense. What it do? You don't know anything about being a role player. Shut up. Do yourself a favor and shut up and listen. You might learn something. You have no idea what a role player is. Everybody is a role player. Jordan was a role player. Scottie Pippen was a role player. Kenny Smith was a role player. Kobe Bryant was a role player. Shaq was a role player. They're all role players. We all have a job to do out here. And sometimes my job changes. But the one thing that doesn't change is my game. I'm still able to do a lot of these other things. And the fact that you can't see that, and the fact that you only look at him as a bucket getter, the fact that you only looking at him, the fact that you only look at him like that tells me a lot about you thinking probably that Kyrie Irving should be averaging 40 in this series. But when he plays against a guy that's defending him the way that Drew Holiday is defending him, beating him to spots, being more physical with him, great anticipation. Now you don't have anything to say about that. And the reason why you don't have anything to say about that is because you only see him as a quote unquote baller. That's not enough. That's not enough. That's the difference. That's not enough. So if you think that what it do me a favor. You're the GM. Trade Josh Hart for Jason Tatum. Do that. That's what you should do. That's what you do. What it do? Trade Jason Tatum for Josh Hart. Do that. If you think that Josh Hart is the same as Jason Tatum, just in this series alone, right? Just in this series alone, trade Jason Tatum for Josh Hart and see how that works for you. See how long you keep your job as a GM. Do that. And you talk about what the difference is between those two guys. The difference is one, you got an elite scorer whose shot isn't going in because I think he's a little too passive right now. That I don't like. Number two, Jason Tatum gets way more defensive attention than Josh Hart. Josh Hart isn't getting doubled and tripled when he gets in the paint. Josh Hart is being left alone at the long ball line. Tatum isn't being left alone anywhere. He isn't being left alone. So to say that him and Josh Hart are in the same category, I shouldn't even be talking to you. I'm actually trying to do. I'm trying to do something right here. That's what I'm trying to do. I shouldn't even be talking to you. So anyway, like I was saying, I see what he's looking at, but I feel like a lot of times when the defense is in front of you, him in particular, when he has Luka in front of him, Luka is looking for him to get by him. In the process of Luka looking for him to get by him, Luka is just looking to poke the ball away from behind. That's all he's doing. Luka isn't looking to stay in front of you. Luka isn't looking to contest shots. No, he isn't looking to do that. He's looking. He did it with Rudy Gobert. He did it with SGA. Not only did he do it with Rudy Gobert and SGA, he's doing it with Al Horford when he gets switched on to him. He's doing it with Jason Tatum, and it's making it look like he's actually defending, when in reality, he's not. He's not. So with that being said, right? So with that being said, if he could be more assertive, getting in the paint like he does, with that 2-dribble pull-up, which I love, he does have that. It's just a matter of him asserting it more and turning his brain off more than anything, because he plays in the post. Jason Tatum has doubled his post production this season from last year. It's doubled. So he plays in the post. Different schemes don't allow him to do that in this particular series. Dallas is more of a matchup zone kind of defense where you get Luka Doncic switched on, you get Luka Doncic on Jason Tatum, and you got a guy right next to him at the nail. You got another guy on the other elbow. If you're getting downhill, right? If you're getting downhill on him and getting in the paint, that 2-dribble pull-up, that floater that he has, all of that stuff allows him to open up the Boston Celtics offense even more, and it collapses the Dallas defense, which now allows guys like Derek White, guys like Jaylen Brown, Drew Holiday, guys like this even more open shots, right? Even more open shots. And when you do that, right? When you do that, these guys are pretty impossible to beat. They are. They are pretty impossible to beat. Now, like I said, all Boston did was hold serve. That's it. Dallas has to go home and make adjustments. Dallas has to go home, make adjustments. And one of the adjustments that they have to make is getting PJ Washington in action. Getting Kyrie Irving in more action off the ball. And getting Drew Holiday away from him. That's more than anything. Get Drew Holiday away from him. And because of that, right? If he could get Drew Holiday away from him, and he could get himself in a rhythm, right? If he could get himself in a rhythm, basically like a thoroughbred that works up a lather and get himself in a rhythm, Dallas is so much better, right? Dallas is so much better when he's doing that. And Drew Holiday does such a good job in getting in the passing lane, not just getting in the passing lane, but also, and I really dig this about him, his anticipation. And with his anticipation, his ability to beat Kyrie Irving to spots, that throws Kyrie Irving off rhythm. That throws him off rhythm. And not foul neither, by the way, when he beats him to spots, where Kyrie Irving is spinning slower than he normally would, right? And those open shots that he would normally get when he's spinning off somebody quicker, that's a rhythm that he's in. Well, if he's not in that rhythm, then he can't score it like he did. Get PJ Washington, and the Celtics did a good job at this, get PJ Washington more comfortable in spaces where he shoots the basketball better. Get him more comfortable in spaces where he shoots the basketball better. And of those places is in the corner. Not only in the corner, but on the left wing. That's where he's the most awesome. Right? That's where he's the most awesome. And Luka does such a great job in creating offense for all of these guys. But the problem that we're having is those other guys, Derek White, Jaylen Brown, Al Horford, Sam Hauser, who also defends, Pritchard, they do such a great job in defending off the ball that they keep Luka having to only operate for Luka because they take those other guys out the offense. And it's great that they do that. I don't think that you have to. I think that PJ Washington has to make Drew Holiday and guys like that pay for when they close out hard on him. One dribble, shot. Because I don't think you got to close out high. I don't think you got to close out hard on PJ Washington. Same thing with Derrick Jones Jr. But he has to make those guys. He's got to make those guys pay for closing out on him. He's got to make those guys pay when they leave him open. That's part of being open. I know for a fact that if I'm playing against Jaylen Brown, I know for a fact that if I play against Jaylen Brown or if I play against Drew Holiday, I'm not going to get a lot of open shots. So the open shots that I get, I better knock them down. Those open shots better get knocked down. They better. I can say that with 100% certainty that they better get knocked down. And because guys like Drew Holiday, you're not going to get a lot of open looks. So when you get open looks, you got to take advantage of it because he's going to force you into a lot of tough shots. And Kyrie Irving, sure, one of the better tough shot makers in the game. One of the better tough shot makers in the game. I won't argue that. I won't. I will not argue that. And when you push a guy into making tough shots, right? When you push a guy into making tough shots, that I feel like one that wears on the defense, right? That definitely wears on the defense when you force a guy into making tough shots, because now what they do is what they do is they find themselves in such a they find themselves in such a difficult spot, right? They find themselves in such a difficult spot that it becomes now where there's really not much that I can do. And now the defense kind of lets up, right? Because damn, I'm doing everything that I can against this guy. Everything. I'm doing everything I can against him. And the fact that I got a hand in his face, I'm all over him. I just think I think it's that difficult when you have a guy that good. But Drew Holiday is doing such a really good job, man. He is. He is doing a really good job. So PJ Washington's got to make these guys pay. He has to. He's got to make guys pay for leaving him open. Derek Lively, who did a great job in the Minnesota series at playmaking. I thought he did a fantastic job. When Luka was getting blitzed, I thought he did a great job in the short roll and hitting PJ Washington in the corner, bounce passing to Daniel Gafford in the dunker spot. The difference is that he finds himself in foul trouble in this game because he's trying to be physical with Kristaps, and it's not working. It's just not. And I don't really, to be honest with you, I don't know how long this series is going to last. I don't. I think Luka's going to be better at home. I'm not buying the logic of him being banged up. So we'll see about that. I got a super chat I really got to read. Hold on for a second. Get ready. The final boss tomorrow. Absolutely. I'll be ready for that. Yes, sir. I'll be ready for the final boss tomorrow. So with that being said, I the way that the Dallas Mavericks get themselves back in this series is the opposite of what I talked about with what the Celtics were doing. The Celtics, the game plan is to make those guys make shots. Hold Luka down like you did, because a lot of people will say, yo, he went 30, 32, 12, and 32, 11, and 11. He had 7 points in the second half and 5 turnovers. Now, 2 of those turnovers weren't his fault. The one in the backcourt where PJ Washington threw the ball to him and it got tipped in the backcourt and he had to throw it ahead, right? He had to throw it ahead. Otherwise, they would have got an 8-second violation. And the one where he skipped in the one when he got in the lane, that was his fault. Actually, I said one of those 5 turnovers in the second half wasn't his fault. The one when he got in the lane and he basically threw the ball over his head and Drew Holiday stole it, where he got caught in the air, that was definitely his fault. No doubt about that. That was definitely his fault. And because of that, the Celtics did a good job in slowing him down in the second half. They did a great job in slowing him down in the second half. But in order for them to continue to win this, series, they got to keep doing that. They got to keep slowing him down. Right? They got to keep slowing him down. Make those other guys make open shots. If I'm not mistaken, I think Dallas yesterday, I'm not even talking about the whole series. Yesterday, they took 26 threes. They missed 20 of them. You're not beating nobody when you shoot that many threes and you miss at that rate. And the fact that The fact that PJ Washington, Derrick Jones Jr., right? Derrick Jones Jr., PJ Washington are turning down open shots, not for better shots, by the way. It's not like when PJ Washington, I remember in the first half where he ended up getting chased off the long ball line, turning down open shots. He turned down an open shot for he didn't turn down, he turned down an open shot for a better one, but he didn't take the better one. Instead, he popped it out to Luka. That was a 2-dribble pull-up that I saw where Drew Holiday ran him off the long ball line. Drew Holiday closes out high. He's on the left wing. And instead of the 2-dribble pull-up at the 18-foot mark, he fires it back out to Luka at the long ball line. When you take that 2-dribble pull-up and knock it down, what that does is that keeps the defense honest. What that does is that keeps the defense honest. And because that keeps the defense honest, it opens up the defense even more. It opens up the defense even more. So it's what I talked about to you with you guys from the beginning of this series. The same thing that Oklahoma City did, right? The same thing that Oklahoma City did is the exact same thing that the Celtics are doing. Make those other guys make open shots. You make those other guys make open shots, we have a different series. I mean, you make those guys consistently make open shots, Dallas has a chance. If those guys can't make open shots, I'm not sure if we're coming back to Boston, to be honest with you. I'm not sure. So there's some other stuff I want to talk about. The fact that the Lakers got turned down by Coach Dan Hurley, which, to be honest with you, I don't think he wanted the job. I don't. I think he used that job with the Lakers as leverage to get a raise with UConn, and it worked. Oh, it 100% worked. Because I think they just inked him to a 6-year deal for $50 million. I don't think he wanted that job. He is going to coach in the NBA one day. I'm 100% confident in that. Coach Hurley is going to coach in the NBA one day. The Laker job isn't his job. If you guys don't know anything about the Hurleys, the one thing that you can know for a fact is that basketball is the family business. And bright lights and shiny toys are not what attracts them. Basketball is the family business. This is what we do. And it's not just about money. So to offer 6 years at $70 million, where coach would have probably ended up getting fired after 2 years. So $70 million for the next 2 years, and I'm screwing up my reputation. Is that worth it? No, it's not. I don't think it's worth it at all. But I'm a firm believer, right? I'm a firm believer that he's going to coach in the NBA one day. And Dan's not an East Coast guy. He's a Northeast guy. If you look at his track record, if you look at his resume, grew up in Jersey City, went to Seton Hall, which is in New Jersey, got his first coaching job at Rutgers, went from Rutgers as an assistant to St. Benedict's, which is in Newark, went from Newark to Staten Island at Wagner College, turned that program around, goes from Wagner to Rhode Island, and now turns that program around. Goes from Rhode Island to UConn, wins the national championship. Coach Hurley and by the way, when he was at the University of Rhode Island, Marquette came calling with a really nice financial package. He passed. Not because he's an East Coast guy, but it didn't make sense. It just didn't make sense. And I don't blame him. I don't blame him at all. The family business is basketball. Very much like your family business may be, you in a family with a bunch of cops. You in a family business with a bunch of carpenters. if you've been doing this for decades, when somebody comes along with a bunch of money, I mean, that doesn't blow your skirt up. Okay, sure. We've been doing this for decades. Okay, what else you got? And does it make sense? Because I'm not going to risk my reputation just because you brought in a bunch of money. Just because you brought in a bunch of money, no, I'm not going to do that. Absolutely not. Am I going to do that? So, because of that, he's going back to UConn, which, make no mistake about it, they're the creme. They're the creme de la creme right now. They're not the defending national champs. They're the back-to-back defending national champs. He can stay there for as long as he wants, for whatever job he wants in the NBA opens up. He can do that. That can work for him. I think the Knicks job is the job he really wants. I think it's the Knicks or the Celtics. I think that's the job he really wants. I don't think it's the Brooklyn job. I think Brooklyn, I think that's a dog and pony show, just like what's going on in Los Angeles. And I don't think he wants that job. I don't think he's interested in that job. And that would not surprise me at all. So I'd be surprised if he did. I'd really be surprised. What up?
What up, Chill Gaming?
What's up, brother?
Yeah, I want to comment on both of those two things you made up with the Celtics and the Lakers, but I just want to go to the Celtics first. I think with the Dallas Mavericks, I think Game 3, obviously, I think they probably have the potential of getting hot and making a lot of shots in game. It's because they're going home and the momentum of the fans will kind of carry them through. But in terms of the adjustment that they can make, I don't think outside of getting hot, there's many adjustments that they can make. I just think they're overmatched. I think one of the problems that you have is the fact that your best player is not great defensively. Your second best player is not great defensively. And when you have another team that's comfortable, and I saw this last night and I was thinking, no, this is interesting. They're comfortable of leaving Kristaps Porzingis on Kyrie Irving by himself, by the way. They're comfortable with that. They're comfortable with that matchup. Mm-hmm. And couple of times Kyrie Irving had Porzingis on him and he couldn't score over the top of him. And they can switch everybody onto everybody. They can switch. They did put 2 on the ball. I did see that yesterday. I saw them kind of go up top with Luka when he was getting hot. And I think it was Porzingis and Tatum came up with 2 on the ball to lose Luka, so he had to pass it out. Mm-hmm. But I think what's happening is that Derek Lively is struggling because the reason why he was so effective in the Minnesota series is because Luka had this ability to just break down his defender so easily. And they would pull 2 on the ball. And because the way Rudy Gobert defends, obviously he's not camping out in the paint, but he's manning the lane. Mm-hmm. So now with Luka, he's generating so much space in the middle that when Derek Lively or anybody makes a cut or a back screen or anything like that, Derek Lively can kind of just pass the ball and make a quick decision. But now everybody's playing out. So now everybody's basically playing Luka one-on-one to a certain degree. They're playing one-on-one. Kristaps Porzingis is manning the wing, so he's on the wing, Kristaps Porzingis now. You also have Al Horford's ability as well on the court. You also have Jaylen Brown, who's also playing him. So they have defenders in every single position that can defend Luka to a competent level. If you notice in the game, they were switching him on so many different guys. They would have Tatum on him for stretches, Brown on him for stretches. They would have Jrue Holiday on him for stretches, Derek White, even Porzingis. Porzingis was the only one that Luka was kind of trying to do the mismatch with, but Porzingis can move his feet. So they don't have many counters to this situation. And then now in particular, with the 2 guard lineup they have in Derek White and Jrue Holiday, they're giving Kyrie Irving hell. And I think one of the things that a lot of people kind of forget about Kyrie Irving is that he's in decline. Like the way he used to be in Cleveland isn't this version of Kyrie right now.
That was 7 years ago. That was 7 years ago. Like people think that was like people forget that wasn't 2 or 3 years ago, like Brooklyn. That was 7 years ago.
That I remember how quick his first step was in Cleveland.
I'm sorry, not 7. I apologize. That was 8 years ago.
8 years ago. 8 years ago. That
almost a decade. Almost a
decade. Nearly a decade ago. And now remember that at that point, look how quick his first step was. Now Kyrie Irving was basically breaking you down one-on-one because his first step was quick, Kyrie Irving. Now it's not as quick. And Jrue Holiday is beating him to spots. And Jrue Holiday is the biggest 6'4" person I've ever seen. His shoulders are huge. Kyrie Irving can't bump him. He can't move him or spots. Jrue Holiday is a little bit faster than him.
I want you to stay right there, Amari. And the reason why I want you to stay right there is because that's very important to add. Kyrie Irving, 1, is bigger than Drew Holiday is bigger than Kyrie Irving.
Way bigger.
That's number one. Number two, as a defender, he's so much smarter than the other guys that he's been going up against. Now, don't get me
Oh,
wrong.
100%.
It's difficult. It's difficult to stop a guy, but to slow a guy like Kyrie Irving down with his ability to get to the rim, you have to think the game. Anticipation is huge.
Exactly.
And
I
on
did.
top of that, to your point, as a ball handler, and I can attest to this, one of the things I've always noticed about ball handlers, especially elite ball handlers, get your hands off me. They don't like to be touched.
No.
They
So you
don't
get me off the
like to
rhythm.
be touched. They
You
don't.
get me off my rhythm. And Drew
Yes.
Holiday puts his hands on you to kind of feel where you are, but
Yes.
not enough to foul. And you know what he also does. One of the things, there's two things that I noticed Drew Holiday does. Drew Holiday's screen navigation is perfect. There was a play where Luca tried. No, was it Kyrie? It was Kyrie, and Kyrie tried to get, because one of the things that Kyrie doesn't like Drew Holiday on it, you can visibly see he doesn't like him on it, and he switched on. Gafford set the screen, and Drew Holiday did this kind of like, rather than doing what gosh, McDaniels did in the Timberwolves and Mavericks series, where McDaniels was basically trying to squeeze through the screen. Drew Holiday saw the screen, anticipated the screen coming, and almost kind of pushed himself closer to it, and then just went around it. And then he
Mhm.
trapped Kyrie Irving at the top of the key. Kyrie Irving tried to run the screen again, then did the same thing, and Luca tried to do the same thing. They're trying to get Drew Holiday off the ball with him. And like I said, Drew Holiday is feet, his defensive timing, the fact that
Sure.
he puts his hand on you to feel to feel the player's body and puts his
Yep.
strength on them a little bit and kind of slightly just nudges you out of position. And Kyrie Irving can't get anything. And then if they then trap him with Derek White, which I've noticed they've done a lot, basically they'll come behind and they'll kind of trap him with Derek White.
Yep.
Kyrie Irving's in hell. Like it's there's not an adjustment for personnel. I don't
Yeah.
think you can make in a series. I think you have to. They will get hot in one of these games, I think, but they shut the water off them. And now every time they try and make a play, any of the big men, Chris Porzingis has good enough feet where he's just blocking them at the rim, and he's so much
Yeah.
taller than them. He's blocked Gafford, he's blocked Lively, he's also blocked Maxi Kleber. Like the way they playing Chris and Al Horford, you gotta give him credit. This guy is 37 years old and he's still able
Yes.
to move his feet well. And he's not been a
Yes.
defensive line. He's starting right now because Chris Porzingis is injured.
Well, you and
Jalen,
I had this conversation, Amari. If you remember that we talked about being able to protect
yeah.
Al Horford, because I've never been under the belief that you can hide a guy because we already
Oh
know who
no,
you
no.
are. And I think that the Celtics have done a great job in protecting Al Horford and not leaving him one-on-one in mismatches. And
They don't need to.
he may very well think that there aren't any mismatches. But as much as Rudy Gobert wants to get switched on to Luka, no, we don't think that's a good idea.
No, no,
No.
no. We don't
Uh-uh.
think that's a good idea for Al Horford, not at his
And, and,
advanced
and,
age.
we, and we don't think that's a good idea for Al Horford either. So whenever we see Al Horford getting switched on to Luka, if you notice, the help is not far. The help is
Yeah,
right
yeah, yeah.
there. They're not
And
leaving him on an island by himself. They're not.
and all of the guys that Luca is getting switched onto are, I think, are big. Not say bigger. Jalen Brown isn't bigger than Luca, but he's bigger than Luca. Like
Right.
it's kind of like he's a bit more physically bigger than Jason Tatum is bigger than Luca.
Yep.
Porzingis is bigger than Luca. Drew Holiday is stronger than Luca, and so is Derek White. I don't think so, but they're not trying to have that matchup with Derek White so
Yep.
much. But that's the kind of thing that they have to deal with. And I think the fact of when you said that they've done is protect home serve. One, I think for a team like Dallas, it's important to have that mental advantage because I think Luca
Mhm.
plays on that to have that one cake in the game. But I
Mhm.
also think that the main kind of problem with them not taking home court is the fact of the way what happened in game two. You watch the Celtics brick free after free after free, and that's one of their strongest assets. And if they have that, they're gonna blow you out the water.
Right.
When they go out 14 and they're not shooting threes, and you go, I think it was what I don't know what Luca went 24 points in the first half, gets held to
25. 25 in the
25
first
points in the
half.
first half, scores 7 in the second half.
Mhm.
You can tell you're tired because I believe one of the problems with somebody like Luka Doncic is that I like him. You're gonna have to surround him with an NBA defender because the problem is he giving up too much on the offensive
Mhm.
end. Every single play they're attacking him, attack, attack, attack. If they're not attacking him, they're basically making an action off Luka Doncic, where basically they're going to just try and do a drive and they're going to do a driving kick, or they're
Yep.
actually attacking him and getting to the paint. Only person that really wasn't attacking Luka last night was Tatum for some reason, but that's a different story.
Yeah.
But even then, he was attacking him. He just wasn't scoring. So if you're running your offense through a guy to make him tired,
Yep.
33 points isn't effective when you're giving up 34. And the question is now, nobody's coming to play with Luka. And these stats are going to look amazing. But when I was watching the game, unlike with the Minnesota series when he scored
Yep.
the 20 something in the first half, I thought, oh, they're only down by 4. Like they're only really down by 7 now.
Yeah.
Oh, this is going to be a problem. You can't score 90. That's the problem. He can't score 90. Kyrie Irving isn't coming with him. None of these guys are coming with him. So I think this series ends in 5.
You may be right, Amari. I tell you, my man, you may be right. I'm not jumping the gun yet, but you may be right, my man. It's good to talk to you. I appreciate you, brother. Absolutely. What up, brother?
Hey, Drew.
What up?
What's going on? Hey,
what up?
Man, I'm like you just said, I'm not gonna jump the gun, but like what I'm seeing, and you probably saw it, and everybody else watching the game probably saw it too. But when you got a team when you got a starting line of 5 above average defenders at best, at worst.
Right.
When we look at Drew Holiday, Derek White, good to great defenders. Jason Brown, Jaden Tatum, good to great defenders. Porzingis, good to great. You know what I'm saying? Al Horford, good for his age. You know what I'm saying? So when you got that, you can't create. There's no mismatches you can create. You know what I'm saying? Like for Luka, like I looked up the stats. Luka done scored 62 points in this series. The rest of his team done scored 125. So he done put up basically a third of the team's offense.
Right.
He done hit more threes than the team combined. You know what I'm saying? And I think he like 4 or 5 assists short from the whole team. So when you got somebody like that, that's your whole offense, and you look at the players on the court with him, I see what Boston did. Instead of having Porzingis guard the 5-man, they put Porzingis in the corner.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And they got Jason Tatum guarding Lively or Gafford. And when you look at those two, if they not catching lives, dunking the ball, or put back, I don't trust throwing them the ball, you know what I'm saying, down low to get a bucket over a mismatch, regardless of who it is. Like, you can do that with Porzingis. He got that turnaround over the right shoulder, over the left shoulder. And he's the tallest player on the court. So that don't matter. But when you got Jason Tatum guarding Derek Jones, guarding Lively or Gafford,
right?
You know what I'm saying? And you got Luka waiting for that pick and roll. You just switching from Jaylen Brown to Jason Tatum. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So it's like
you're not losing much. You're not losing much.
And in some point, in some instances, you might be getting a better defender on. You know what I'm saying? Depending on the game, how they playing. So it's like I just see a big mismatch problem for real. Like,
when you look at the personnel, right? So if you look at finals in the past, not necessarily the NBA finals, but if you look at playoff series, more times than not, when a team is overmatched, that team is overmatched, their best player has to do something astronomical in order for them to win. He doesn't have to do something good. He doesn't have to do something great. He got to do something ridiculous in order for them to win. So, like Luka, for example, like that 30, that might have to be 45. It might have to be 50 in order for them to have a chance to win.
But not only that shit, like not only the 50, because you need that 6 assists to turn into 11, 12, and that's your teammates. So it's like, it's really, you know what I'm saying? Like, when I look at the last series against the Pacers, the reason I feel like the Pacers got 2 games off of them is because they ran. They ran with them. They sped it up. When you look at Luka, it's walking up the court every time, you giving them a chance to set that defense up.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, even if you in transition and they got 2 good defenders back, you kick out. That's when you dish and dodge. You know what I'm saying? You catching all that. But when you trying to attack a half court offense and you got 4 legit all defensive team players, with a top 5 rim protector, like what are you really expecting to do in the half court? If you got 3 non-shoot. Derrick Jones and PJ, they did their thing throughout the playoffs as far as shooting the 3. You know what I'm saying? Attacking off the catch, like they've been doing their thing. But I think we can put to bed, you know what I'm saying, Boston ain't play they didn't play competition in the East per se because you know what I'm saying players was injured. But
if they handle Dallas like this,
right,
we can dead
like
that.
we could put that to bed. Like
we can dead that. And ain't no more of that. Ain't no more of that because this will be the same logic that this Minnesota team handled. Yeah. Minnesota handled Denver going into their building. Well, Dallas handled them. Well, the Eastern Conference is weak, but wait a minute. With the Eastern Conference being weak, you can say the same thing about the West where matchups is everything. Dallas avoided Denver. Dallas ended up avoiding Denver because I don't think they beat Denver. If I'm being honest, I don't think they beat Denver. I don't think that.
Looking at the teams in the West, like just based off these two games, I'm not saying the series is over, but based off these two games, you say who in the West would have a shot against this team based on how they're playing and the fact that they best player can have a mediocre game and they win comfortably.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Like it's crazy that, we live in a time where, scoring is so inflated. And don't get me wrong, I care about a guy getting buckets and I care about a guy asserting his dominance. Like I'm sure you passing the ball, that's great. Sure. It's like a running back. Like, it's great that you blocking out the backfield, right? It's great that you get in the flat and you'll catch a pass. Yo,
all yards a carry.
That's what I need. Okay.
You know what yeah,
okay.
Right,
it's nice that you'll pick up the blitz. It's nice that you'll catch a pass in the flat. Yo, when I give you the football, B, I need you to get downhill. And that's kind of what it is with Jason Tatum. But we're in a space now where he went 18, 12, and 9 yesterday. Like when I was coming up, 18, 12, and 9 was a big ass deal.
That was a great stat line, and that's a big ass deal. Say even today, like I'm not gonna poo 18, 12, and 9 because that tells me you can affect the game without scoring. You don't have to be the leading scorer for us to mention your name in the game. Like, oh, we seen Jason Tatum do that. Oh, we ain't know he was a as good a playmaker as he's shown. We ain't, you know what I'm saying? Like we didn't know he was
feel like that.
We knew he was a good defender, but we ain't know he was like this. The same thing with Jaylen Brown. He had a couple of blocks on the weak side guarding Derrick Jones or PJ. I'm like, I knew he had that, but I didn't know it was like this. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, I feel like Dallas, they could get a game. You're gonna have a game where a team get hot. You know what I'm saying? Role players play better at home, but if Boston I don't think Boston has to change anything. Like their game plan is we're gonna guard Luka with our best perimeter defender and Jaylen Brown.
We ain't switching up nothing.
We're not switching. Jason Tatum, you guarding Lively or Gafford. Porzingis, you helping, and we gonna do what we do what we've been doing. Like if the Mavs win these next two games, all the blame goes to Boston. Just because of what we've been.
That was the next question I was about to ask you, D. If we come back to Boston, they down 3-1. If Dallas is down 3-1, are we going back to Dallas?
Man, I feel like with them being one game away, I feel like I don't feel like Boston let an opportunity
I think it's over.
Like that slip away.
Honestly, if they come back to Boston down 3-1, I think this series is over.
I think that's the game. Jason Tatum take 30 shots. If it's a 3-1 situation and we back home, Jason easily 30 shots. Jason Tatum gonna try to go for 40. Easily.
Or 50.
If it's closeout and it's ring time and it's y'all can stop talking shit about me. I'm ringed up now, man. I think they'll go crazy. But if it somehow manages to get 2-2 coming back to Boston, all the blame is on Boston because we done seen what y'all did these two games. Unless a injury, which nobody is hoping for. We hope Porzingis is okay. I heard he got
kicked. I think he got kicked in his calf. I think he's good.
Okay, so you know what I'm saying? We're not wishing injury, but like I said, just based off these two games, like Boston is the better team, and I think they're better than every team they're just the best team in the league. So it's like,
and they've shown that all year. So to be honest with you, D, we really shouldn't be surprised if they win the NBA championship. We really shouldn't.
When it come down to like they've been the best team in the regular season, the playoffs, like they
only lost 2 games. They only lost 2 games in the playoffs.
They let a couple games slip, whatever. Okay, they was bored with the shit, whatever you want to say, but. If they handle this Mavs team, I mean, there's not really much you can say. And Luka gonna do his thing. Like I said, he done scored 62 points these 2 games. The rest of the team, the 9 players that done touched the floor, done scored 125. all put together. So
between the 9 of these dudes,
however many players done play, I don't want to put a number on it, whether it's 7, 8, you know what I'm saying? However many players done play besides Luka, they only done put up.
I'm getting 40 points from 9 players, man. How am I gonna win like that?
Hey, that's why
I can't win like that. I can't. I'm getting 40 points from 9 dudes. No, I can't win like that.
I don't want to bring up Brian because he far away, but like this type of series, like this is 2018. This is 2018 against the Warriors. Like this is, you know what I'm saying? But
this is what we was dealing with. So, all right, D, I know where to find you at, brother.
All right, OG.
Yup. Hey, man, I know what it is. What up?
Yo, what's cracking, Chill? What's going on, OG? Hi, what's going on Monday?
What's up, brother?
Oh, nothing, man. From what I'm seeing, you know what I mean? It's a bad matchup for the Mavericks, man. You know what I mean? Like, one question I want to know before I get in depth: where the hell is Tim Hardaway Jr., man? He should be playing this series. Do you know how much pressure with his versatility with scoring? Because from what I'm seeing, the Mavericks have droughts of scoring. You know what I mean? It seemed like the Boston defense, the game plan, like the previous caller said, they throwing the kitchen sink and everything at Luka and Kyrie, all right? And they forcing the others to beat them. And they're not doing it. They're not doing it. But you put Tim Hardaway Jr., why is he not playing this series, man? Why? I don't get it, man.
One of two things is going on. One, I think that he's not well. That's number one. Number two,
wait a minute, he just played in the previous series against the T-Wolves. What the hell is going on?
This is what I'm thinking. And with that also being said, I also think that he's looking at him like he's not playable in this series. But if he's not playable in this series, how is Exum playable?
That's what I'm saying. I mean, and Tim Hardaway Jr. is way better option than Dante Exum, who ain't played in the league in almost 5 years, right?
Right.
Last time I heard of Exum, right? He was in Utah, backing up Donovan Mitchell in Utah.
Yeah. My biggest problem with Tim Hardaway, and not just Tim Hardaway, and Blue, if you know anything about me, I can't handle a guy missing wide open shots. I can't handle it.
Right.
Can't. When you're on the floor, your job is to make open shots.
Right.
That's Tim Hardaway's job.
Right.
We don't ask him to go one-on-one. He's not a lockdown defender. He's not any of those things. My job is to make open shots. And Luka does a great job of getting him open shots. And the fact that he doesn't make open shots consistently, that's a problem. That's a huge problem.
So you might think because he is kind of inconsistent in some ways, you think that might be a reason he's not getting playing time in the series. But yet again, what does Dante Exum bring to the table? You know what I mean? They even coming down on PJ Washington Jr. and Derek Jones and Derek Lively. They pretty much struggling pretty much within their own selves. You know what I mean? I think it's just a bad matchup, man. And that whole thing about, that just speaks to how well of a grounded team the Celtics are, man. You had Tatum and Brown, they had home games, but yet Drew Holiday came up big, and they still won. That speaks the versatility of this Celtics team, man. And it feels like to me, I had Celtics in 6 or 7, but from the way it's looking, it might be 5. Dallas to get 1. Dallas, Luka can Kyrie and the rest of those guys, the role players play better at home, you know what I mean? They take higher percentage shots, and it's a comfort zone as opposed to going out on the road.
Blue, this series comes back to Boston. Dallas down 3-1. Are we going back to Dallas?
Nope. It's over. It's over at that point, because then you're in a situation where you got to win 2 or 3, and I don't see it with what I'm seeing right now. It's just that it's a bad match. Bottom line, it's a bad matchup for Dallas. You know what I mean? I feel like you said, the Western Conference was all about matchups. You know what I mean? You see I originally had Denver coming out of the West, right? Because I thought, Jokic, once Jokic and Jamal Murray came around, I thought, I didn't see Minnesota beat them in 7 games. You know what I mean? It kind of shocked me that they were up 2-0 in the first place against the Nuggets anyway. You know what I mean? But I feel like I'm with you. I think the Nuggets would have handled the Mavs.
I think they served them. I don't think they beat them. I think they served them. I do.
Right.
Down
because they don't have no answer down low for Jokic. And Jamal Murray can, he's proven.
Defensively, Denver is a lot better than people give them credit for, number one.
Right,
number two,
right.
Offensively, they got a damn good offense. That's the reason why Dallas beat Minnesota. It's not because of it's not because they shredded them defensively. It's because offensively, Minnesota isn't very good.
Right.
They can't convert.
Right. Especially when you consider that they put everything on Ant-Man, you know what I mean? Anthony Edwards and very dependent on Karl Anthony Towns having big games. If Karl Anthony Towns don't show up, it's a problem. Yeah. It's a problem. You know what I mean? And it's like, like I said, it was a matchup thing in the Western Conference, though. It feels like all year I felt like Boston at a certain point became the best team in the East. So, I had Milwaukee coming out, but with the problems they had, I feel like they were too discombobulated to even make a run.
I won't argue that. Blue, good to talk to you, brother. Know where to find me at, my man. I appreciate it. Right. What up?
Chill. What's going on, sir?
What's up, brother?
Man, can we leave Jason Tatum alone?
No, they can't. No, and I'm telling y'all this right now. The Finals MVP winner. I'm saying this to the people in the cheap seats. The Finals MVP winner is going to be the guy who plays the best in the closeout game, because I don't think that there's anybody who's legit separated themselves in this series. I think Drew Holiday's been playing great.
Yes.
I think Jaylen Brown played great in that game 1.
Yes.
I don't think that there's anybody who's actually separated themselves in this series. I think that the guy who plays the best in the closeout game, that's your Finals MVP.
It's wild. You think of constructing a team, and when your quote unquote your best player isn't necessarily playing the best, you would hope his teammates will be able to lift him up in these situations. And the fact that his teammates are kind of doing that, Jason Tatum is getting beat up because of that, which is just wild to me. I mean, what's the point of having great teammates? I think Jason Tatum is playing great team basketball. He's playing winning basketball. He might not be scoring the best, but as far as
that's where my issue is, and that's where I get discombobulated right there with what you just said. That right there. It's not the other stuff. And I just got finished talking about this with the other guy about the football analogy. Yeah, I got no problem with you as the running back, picking up the blitz. That's great. Hitting you in the flat and you getting me 4 or 5 yards. I got no problem with that. At some point, we need to move the football. You need to get downhill. And I need to give you the football. And I got what Jason Tatum is doing as a distributor. In fact, I didn't know he was that good as a distributor. I knew he was a good distributor. I did. I knew he was a damn good distributor. I've seen him get into the teeth of the defense. I've seen him get into the teeth of the defense and make great passes. I've seen him defend at a high level. I watched him shut the door on SGA earlier this season in Oklahoma City in the last 5 minutes of the game. So I know he can do that. That's not an issue. The question is, right? The question is, when are you going to assert your dominance as a scorer? Because that's what the great ones do. That's what the great ones do.
But Chill, do you want him chucking up shots and disrupting the team's offensive flow? Because the team
took the most shots yesterday. He took 22 shots yesterday. Nobody else took more than 20 shots. He took the most shots yesterday.
Got me there. Yeah, he did.
Nobody took more shots than him yesterday. He took the most shots yesterday. Nobody.
But to his credit, he wasn't taking, I want to say, those bad step back shots. He was actually driving the ball. He was getting into the paint. You ain't feeling it?
Can't finish at the rim. looking like a guy that's avoiding contact. You 6'9", dunk the basketball. When you gonna throw it over the top of somebody?
He tried. It just didn't work. He tried.
100% confident. I saw him airball a dunk. I saw that. And again, what I don't want to do is I don't want to discount the other stuff he's doing, because that other stuff, we ain't winning if he don't do that.
Correct.
We ain't winning if you don't do that. With the way he's distributing, the way he's defending, the way he's putting pressure on the defense,
the way he's rebounding.
Yes, getting on the glass. We ain't winning if you're not doing that. At some point, I got to be able to give you this football, and I need you to move the football down the field. I have to be able to do that. You can pick up the blitz. I can give you the ball in the flat. At some point, I got to shove this ball in your gut, and you got to move the football.
But chill, if you got Randy Moss and T.O. on the outside, and they scoring damn near every time they catch the ball, I ain't really got to run the ball like that.
The difference is you got T.O. on one end, and he's catching the ball, and then the next game, he's got 6 drops, which is yesterday. Don't forget, Jaylen Brown had 6 turnovers yesterday.
He did.
Hurt the basketball over 6 times yesterday, and they were bad turnovers too.
Yeah.
So the great ones, Minor, you know this just as well as I do. The great ones, when we get into playoffs and when we get into the finals, they separate themselves from the other players. And right now, I don't see that separation. I see a guy who's helping his crew win, and he's doing the stuff necessary for his crew to win. I won't argue that. I'm looking for that separation.
But isn't that the most important thing, Chill, to get to make sure your team get the dub?
Yes, it is. 100% it is. I won't argue that. I'm still looking for that separation, though. And I don't see it, bro. And I know for a fact it's coming. That 35, 12, it's coming. Hang on. I'm sure it's coming.
Yeah, I think exactly what you said at the beginning. It's all about who has that great closeout game. Who's going to end up getting that finals MVP. I completely agree. I don't know if you remember earlier when we had talked another time about who Jason Tatum should call at the summertime and try to work out with. I don't know if you remember who you said.
Who did was it Carmelo Anthony?
Nah, it went Melo.
Oh, it wasn't Melo. Who did oh my God.
It was Scottie Pippen.
That's who it was. It was Scottie Pippen. That's exactly who I asked. Scottie Pippen. How to get into the mid range, how to get downhill. Yes, that's exactly who I said. Pick the phone up. Call up 6-year-old Scottie Pippen. Call him up.
Yes. He needs to make that call this summer. And between him playing on Team USA, he needs to make that call, because if he can grab some of that Scottie Pippen and add that to his game, that boy be dangerous.
Yes, he will be. Good to talk to you, Minor. You know where to find me.
Always.
Yep. Let's just say, for the sake of argument, that's true, real. You know, I think it's interesting. I think it's interesting where like when you have a show and people come to your show to boo, that's so corny, ain't it? Like this dude, real. How do you feel about Hurley not taking the job for your king? That's not why he didn't take the job. That's first of all. He didn't take that job because he wasn't lured in by the bells and whistles from Los Angeles. It had nothing to do with James. That's not why he didn't take the job. You such a James hater. Not only are you such a James hater, you such a troll that you can't dig what actually happens when it comes to stuff like this. You can't dig it. And because you can't dig it, I can't talk to you. I'm good. What up?
Hey, yo, Chill, what up?
What up?
First of all, I want to start with the Lakers. I think the Lakers need to humble themselves. I think throughout the Lakers' history, I think they've been winning so much that they think that every single decade is they're supposed to be winning every single time. I think they need to slow down. They need to reconstruct the roster, take out AD, take out LeBron, and put their heads down and construct a roster that can win in NBA championships.
These young dudes don't care about Magic in the 80s. They don't care about that.
Yeah,
these young dudes that's in the league, they couldn't care. It's like these kids that go to college and people expect the allure of what's going on at Duke or at Kentucky. They expect that to be they expect that to attract these kids when it's not. That's the same logic with the Lakers.
Yeah.
These dudes don't care about Magic and Jabbar in the 80s. They don't care about that. They don't. They care about getting paid.
Yeah,
they
you
don't
need to
care
slow
about
down, trade LeBron, trade AD, and build a competent roster to compete. No super team, no new coach, no. Build a team. 5 years like Boston, like Denver, like the way the Rockets are doing.
The
Build
Warriors,
a competent
the
roster.
Celtics.
Yes, exactly. Because like LeBron is out in 2 years. AD, I don't know how long it's going to be in the league for. I don't know how long AD is going to be in the league for. Like 2-3 years again before injuries start hitting. Like, then what? We're going to be left with Austin Reeves, D'Lo. Like, sit down, build a team, put your head down. I don't care about how you guys stand now. Like 5 years, build a team. And that's all about. Secondly, about Dallas. I think I'm done, Joe. I'm done with Dallas. Like, I don't see any. I don't see it. No. Like, the Celtics shot 25% from 3, and they won. And at no point during that game, at no point was I like, no, Dallas can come back. No, you can come back. Like, at no point.
So as bad as Boston was shooting, you already had
like,
your mind made up.
At no point, like Dallas, no. Like, I was more focused on Tatum than the game. Like, I was lost with the squad. I was like, Tatum, what the fuck are you doing? Like, it's 10 points up. Tatum, like, oh my God. And with the Celtics, Jill, during the summer, I think we're going to forget about what the Celtics do and more about what Tatum does. Like, this championship doesn't matter if Tatum doesn't perform well. I'm sorry, Jill. Like, Tatum is going to be the most destroyed NBA superstar this summer if he doesn't perform well. I know he's a guy. I love Tatum too, but like, bro.
Worse than LeBron in 2011? Worse than LeBron in 2011, you think?
Like,
no,
LeBron.
I ain't going that far. No, I'm not doing that. I'm not going
hold on.
No,
LeBron,
I ain't going that far.
Hold up. LeBron played average. Tatum is playing bad as a scorer. He's playing bad as a scorer. Like, the dude cannot make a layup. Like, last game 2, he dribbles, gets into the, like, simple layup. Tatum, give a layup. He misses it. Like, bro, like, so I think this game, tomorrow, the next game, game 4, game 5, Tatum needs to be more efficient as a scorer. That's it. Like, playmaker, I never knew he could play this level. I never knew he could pass this level. He's passing excellently. He's defending excellently. He's playmaking excellently. He's defending excellently. He's passing at a high level. Yeah. He needs to score the ball.
To be honest with you, I'm not sure that I want to trade that. I don't want to trade all of that. To be honest with you, I don't want to trade. I don't want to trade that for 40. I don't want to trade that.
I know. I don't.
I do not. So
every great player scores the basketball well in situations like this. Every good one, even the passes like Magic, even like the passes like every great player scores well in times like this. Everyone, even the ones who aren't primarily scorers, they score well because it matters. It matters. Like, scoring is the first stat on the NBA sheet. Like, that's the first thing you look at. I know scoring is more valuable than passing, but it's what if you start scoring, rebounds, assists. Like, you need to score well. Like, every time I look at Jensen's stat line, 6 for 16. Like, whoa. Then 12 rebounds, 8 assists. Okay, that's good. 6 for 16, chill.
Yeah.
Like,
you got to be better. He's got to be better. I won't argue that, Taylor. He's got to be better. Good to talk to you, brother. I appreciate you, my man. Yeah. No doubt. No doubt. I appreciate you. So, peace, God.
Peace. What's good, Chill Town? What's good, brother? Thank you for bringing me up, man.
Absolutely.
What's good, man? So, what did I tell you about Drew Holiday?
Let's discuss this Drew Holiday logic. And the reason why I want to discuss this Drew Holiday logic is because I deal with a lot of people who get enamored by hezzy tweens, ball behind their back, and throwing the ball between their legs a bunch of different times. And they get thrown off the track by actual defense. Smart defenders, physical defenders, guys who are great at anticipating, which is what Drew Holiday is. Add that to the fact that, and this was brought to my attention, and I did know it, but it's actually been brought back to my attention. The Kyrie Irving that we saw in the NBA Finals in 16, that was 8 years ago. So that's almost a decade. It's been almost a decade. And Kyrie Irving isn't an old guy, okay? I still think he's in the middle of his prime. I won't argue that because Drew Holiday is 34. But being removed that far from high-level basketball and then being thrust back in it, having to go up against a dude like Drew Holiday, who is as smart as he is, who is as physical as he is, not just as smart as he is and as physical as he is, but also making you guard too, that's a recipe for disaster, B. It is.
But chill, you still haven't broke down the actual real reason why he's been destroying the whole Mavs.
Okay,
listen, hold on, wait. We already knew how great he was defensively. Everybody knows how good Drew Holiday was defensively.
Right.
What people don't know and what these casuals don't understand is how important a point guard is, a floor general.
Yep.
He is dominating both sides of the floors. But like the guy just said now, people only think about the first stat that they see is the points, right? Nah, the man gets a rebound, he's quickly getting them into their offense. They're trying to break a run. He knows the exact set to set them up to get Jason Tatum, Brown, or anybody the right shot. He's doing all of the little nuances on the basketball court that is completely dominating and controlling the game on both ends of the floor, right? Because like you said, he's guarding Kyrie. Kyrie's going to have some trouble against him, which is fine. But the real truth of the matter is that Drew Holiday is the point guard and floor general Boston has been missing since day one.
And you know what's interesting? You bring that up because it's almost like it's deja vu. Remember in 21, take Eric Bledsoe out, enter Drew Holiday. I do the same thing you do, except I'm better at it. Fast forward to 23-24, take Marcus Smart out, enter Drew Holiday. I do the same thing that you do, except I'm better. I'm watching them play against Dallas. He's not getting around the screen when Luka is coming off the screen. He's not getting around the screen and trailing Luka. He's getting around the screen and not allowing Luka to put him in jail. He's beating Luka to that spot and staying in front of him. So now what Luka has to do is continue to play one-on-one. He can't play 2-on-2 and go downhill. And when he can't play 2-on-2, that takes the pressure off his frontline defense. Now what that does is that puts more pressure on Luka to one-on-one score. Not just on Luka, same thing with Kyrie Irving. That puts more pressure on him to one-on-one score. Goat, you know this as well as I do. Ball handlers, what do they not like? Don't put your hands on me. Don't touch me.
Active hands. Active hands. Exactly. Active hands. And this is another thing, right? This is where Mazzola showed us why he's a good coach, right? The defensive strategy that they have. They're putting Jason Tatum on Lively and Gafford. Who else is going to provide a screen for Luka if it's not Gafford or Lively?
It's not going to be Derrick Jones Jr. It's not going to be P.J. Washington.
It's not going to be an effective screen if you let those two do it, right? Right?
Those screens, right.
So that's how they were able to hide Al Horford. Because Al Horford is basically guarding Derrick Jones Jr. and Exum and Green. Those are the guys that can't get their own shot off their own dribble. So you can't give them the ball, right? You can't say, okay, go score for me, right? So and this is why I told people this idea that Luka is more skilled than the GOAT, LeBron James. Get out of here. Luka can't dribble past anybody. He needs a screen. He's cerebral. He has the IQ, but he don't have the dribbling skills to go around people. He doesn't have the athleticism to go around people. Forget about the skill. So he needs those screens. And the fact that now it's like, we're just going to switch. Because Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown are elite defenders. Not just good defenders. They're elite defenders. Just because today's media refuses to vote for two-way players to be on the all-defensive team, doesn't mean these guys are not elite defenders.
Right.
Jason Tatum could guard your big man and guard your perimeter player. What does that say about Jason Tatum and how great he's playing?
He's elite on both sides of the ball. That's what it means.
Right?
That's exactly what it means. Yeah.
So that's what they're doing to them. That's why, and they're saying, go ahead, take your open shots, and they're missing them. Dallas is missing their shots. So even if Dallas decides to start making shots, because we know role players play well at home, right? Yep. So now that Kyrie's the role player that everybody knows he is, right? Yes. He should be playing better. They should have a better game. But still, you made the adjustments. Your adjustments worked, but you still lost. What do you do now?
I think they overmatched, Goat. I do.
I told you. I didn't tell you. We told them. I told you stop playing with these people, man.
Yeah.
Soon as they got Drew Holiday, it's all Miami's fault. It's all the Heat's fault. It's blame Miami Heat. If you don't like Boston,
you and me had this conversation last summer. Pat Riley should have been on the phone with the Trailblazers. Soon as he got traded to the Trailblazers, call him up and get Drew Holiday to Miami. Call him up and get him down to South Beach. That's what it would have been.
As soon as they picked him up and they didn't have to give up Derek White, I'm like, well, wait a minute. This is not even fair. Who's going to beat this? Only the Miami Heat fully healthy had a chance. But, yeah, but we knew it from the beginning, man, from the season open. And then they got Porzingis on top of it. It was like, well, damn. Who's really going to... The kink in their armor was, they don't got a bench. Boston... Boston finds the most best preppy white boys of all time to shoot a jumper. They got Pritchard, they got Hauser, they got Cornette. They don't need it. And mind you, Jason Tatum is playing brilliant. Forget what everybody's talking about him missing shots. They're attacking him at the rim when he gets there, so he's missing his layups. That's the problem. He's getting some layups that he normally makes, right? But that's fine. He is playmaking like we've never seen him do before. Every time they get to the paint, the first thing they think of is who's the guy that's open because they're crashing. And all of them are doing it. Brown is doing it. Holiday is doing it. They don't have not one on-ball defender that can stop those three guys. Holiday, Brown, or Tatum. Holiday's been phenomenal the whole series. If
we come back to Boston up 3-1, are we going back to Dallas?
No, it's 5-1. I told you they had to win game 2 to make it a 6-game series. It's 5-1 over with. That's it. I see it. I see Dallas getting one of these games. That's it. It's over. It's over. They don't have.
They gotta win game 3. If they lose game 3, we ain't even coming back to Boston.
Oh yeah, it's a sweep.
I don't think we coming back to Boston. I think this series is over.
Remember, we haven't had the Derek White game yet. No, we've been sitting around waiting for a Derek White game since the Eastern Conference Finals. He's come, and last night he was trying. He was jacking up shots from everywhere. He was like, "Yo, this is my game. I'll take over.
It may be coming, brother. Hey Jay, see you, brother.
It's always good, brother. Thank you for having me, man. Yeah, man. Be good. I'll see you tomorrow morning, 9 a.m. TikTok. I'll catch you, brother.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. What up?
First and foremost, what up? What's going on with you, bro? Like, what happened to you the other day? You snuck your ass to Boston?
No. My niece graduated.
And I went congratulations, man.
Yeah,
definitely.
Went to see that. Went to see my niece graduate. So
congratulations, family time. Listen, 2 things wrong here, bro. Number 1, this separator that you looking for, it ain't gonna happen. The reason being is because everything I told you about Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown, bro, for the last 2 years. This team is winning by committee. Like when you got Drew Holiday, when you got Derek White, and dude just said, "Yo, we ain't even have the Derek White game yet." When you had Porzingis, bro, protecting the rim and doing what he's doing in game 1, realistically, the security blankets, you don't really need Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown to do it to go crazy ballistic and go superstar status. Now, there's a difference between 2-way players, 2-way stars, and 2-way superstars. Giannis, 2-way superstar. Ain't he? Olajuwon, 2-way superstar. Jordan, 2-way superstar. LeBron, 2-way superstar. As much as I hate to admit it. Maybe, just maybe.
You can say it. You can say it, Lee. Scottie Pippen, 2-way superstar. You can say it. You can say it. I know you don't want to, but you can say it.
Leave me alone, bro.
You can say it. It's okay. You can say it. Tim Duncan, 2-way star.
That's why.
Tim Duncan, 2-way superstar. I know where you go.
2-way star. I'm giving Scottie Pippen 2-way star. Maybe, just maybe. And call me crazy, and you want to argue this to the blue moon, and you're going to argue this on the morning show. Just maybe Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown are 2-way stars with a good-ass team around them, like they have for the past 7 years. Just maybe. They doing anything to help their team win. Maybe they ain't the 30-point superstars that you want them to be in elite defense. Just maybe.
Maybe. Or maybe they do enough. I'm still looking. Maybe they just do enough to get it done. But then they'll have flashes where they'll have those games where you like, this is what I'm looking for. Can I get this on a consistent basis?
You know what? If you asking for it on a consistent basis and you're not getting it, that makes them a two-way star, not a two-way superstar. That's what it makes them. Hence, while I kept calling them two Scottie Pippens. Hence. And you thought something was wrong with it. We gotta was wrong with it all the time.
But yeah, because you and me got a different you got a different idea about a superstar. And I think Jason Tatum is a franchise player. And I do think that if he was on a different team, he would be playing differently. But the fact that he on this team, because I seen him, don't get me wrong, I seen him on other teams. I mean, I seen him with other players. But with that being said, we have to respect the fact if they win this NBA championship, Leak, you have to respect that they did get it done. And it wasn't just because they were on a damn good team. No, I still got to do my job too. That whole by committee shit, no, you're not selling me that. And the reason why you're not selling me that is because if it was by committee, since when do we have guys by committee that's a bad thing? And we hold them in lesser regard. Did we hold Chauncey Billups in lesser regard? Did we hold Ben Wallace in lesser regard? No, we didn't. So why are we talking about?
But at the same time, we still acknowledge, bro, what everybody else on the team put in. We still acknowledge, bro, that you still had three, not one, not two, but three other players that could get 15, that could average 15 or better and close to 20 on any given night. We still acknowledge that all of those parameters is in place. That makes the shit by committee. There's no way. There's no way you fighting this. There's no way you fighting this.
But here's the difference with what you're saying. You're telling me that makes it by committee where every night somebody else different is doing it. The difference is we can't keep these dudes out. We can't take Jaylen Brown, what he did last night. Take what Jason Tatum did last night. Take that off the table. Are we winning?
Take what they did on
take defense. Jason Tatum's 18, 12, and 9 off the table. Are we winning?
No, I mean, no, absolutely not.
The point that I'm making with that is Drew Holiday's 26. That's not on the regular. That's not something that you're getting every night. You might get that occasionally. Jason Tatum actually, according to the masses, his scoring, he played bad last night, and he still almost had a triple-double. That's how important he is to this unit. Still almost had a triple-double. Still. You can look at him the way you look at him. In the end, he still is necessary. And when I mean necessary, I don't mean necessary like Drew Holiday is necessary. You think he's necessary like Cornette, like Sam Hauser.
No.
Like the rest of them dudes. No. The difference, the problem that I'm having with him in this series is that I know that there's another level, and I haven't seen him separate himself from the rest of these guys like I did in the regular season. Like I saw him in the regular season separate himself from the rest of these guys. I saw it last year. I saw it the year before that. This year, I still seen it. I just haven't seen it in the playoffs on a consistent basis where he separates himself from the rest of these guys, and it's evident I'm the guy.
You know what it is? The thing about most two-way players and two-way stars and two-way superstars, I look at it as today, especially in today's game, I look at the distance traveled. I look at all of the responsibilities that you have to do compiled onto doing everything that you said that he did for his team, bro. Like, and we talked about what JB did in game 1. We talked about what he did in game 2. And then I look at all of the incapabilities that you still have. You still got a turnover problem. Even though you win it, you still got a high turnover problem. They both got a combined 17 turnovers in the first 2 games. But they're winning. So nobody's gonna really complain
Jason
about
Tatum
it.
only had 3 turnovers last night.
He only had 3 turnovers last night to make up for the 6 that he had in game 1. Listen, my point is
he had 8 in game 1.
Yeah, like 7 or something like that, whatever. Like but look, my point is this: when you are a two-way player and you having so much prowess, bro, to do something on both ends, to elite on both ends of the court. I look at that as distance travel. I didn't see that, of course, with Steph. I didn't see that, of course, with Joker. I didn't see that, of course, with those players. The
Giannis, Joker, Steph Curry.
I didn't see that
KD.
with Giannis because Giannis is still going to give you 33-13 on elite defense.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But the reason being is because as a two-way player, he's better than Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown. Simple. Because if he can still give you 30-something and 12 with layups and dunks and still give you elite defense, that makes the nigga elite. It's just that damn simple.
So
when I look at
so Jason Tatum shouldn't be in a conversation with them dudes.
No,
he shouldn't be in a conversation with Joker, Giannis, Luka. He shouldn't be in a conversation with none of them dudes.
Because they are elite at something. Jason Tatum is good at a little bit of everything. And this is something that the boys in the morning keep telling you, and you just not getting it.
No, I'm not getting it, because a dude averaging 30 a game is elite. A dude averaging 27 a game is elite. Leaf, what are you talking about? A dude who's almost a double-double, that's elite.
Almost a double-double. Right.
When a guy, like I said, when I see in the NBA Finals, where he's dumbing it back, and I can appreciate you doing the playmaking. I said this I'm sure you heard me say this a little while ago. Sure, I think it's great Emmitt Smith picks up the blitz. I'm sure it's great that, I can hit him in the flat for 5 yards. I got to be able to stick that ball in his gut, and he got to run downhill and give me 100 yards.
Mm-hmm.
I have to be able, and I don't need to see that in November. I need to see that in January in Green Bay when it's 12 degrees outside.
Absolutely.
And they got 9 guys in the box.
Right.
I need to see that because it's cold out here and we can't throw the football and we need to move the football. Same logic with Jason Tatum. I love the playmaking. I love the passing. I love the rebounding. I love the defending. My man, when we get in stretches like we did last night, where you're missing layups at the rim, even though you finished this season, I think he's shooting 74% at the rim this year. But then we get in the playoffs. And then it's something else. I was cussing him out last night.
We can't act like we ain't see the quote unquote droppers in terms of percentage in the playoffs. You don't see that from Luka. You don't see that from Steph. You don't see that from Joker because they're better than him. It's just that damn simple. And there's a reason being. They're better. Luka, listen, the Mavs go as Luka goes. The Warriors go as Steph goes. The Nuggets go as Joker goes. The Boston Celtics clearly, this year, they don't go as Jason Tatum go. They don't go as Jaylen Brown go. You know why? Because they got other players on the team that could come up big in big moments. We did not see Porzingis having the game that he had in game 1. Did you? Because you was panicking about that calf injury. That's what you was doing. I saw you.
I was nervous about that. To be honest, I didn't think he should play. Yeah, I didn't think he should play, to be honest with you. I didn't think
he shouldn't either, but yet it turned into 22 and 11. And then the next game, you got Drew Holiday with his 20 and 10 game. The thing is, bro, maybe, just maybe, people need to come to the conclusion that Boston, as a unit collectively, are better than everybody else right now.
I don't know if that can be argued. I won't argue that. I won't never.
No. But and just maybe, and this is probably gonna hurt your heart. Just maybe Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown, they not only do they have to be as elite as you want them to, maybe they're not. That's what I kept telling you all along. And you don't want to hear it.
I'm not buying that.
You think 30 points instantly makes you elite? You think 27 points and 8 rebounds instantly makes you elite?
On the best team in the league? When does that never happen? When does that never happen, League? When does that ever happen? When you're not elite? When does that ever happen? I'm all ears to hear this.
When it happens, bro? When you got a guy in Milwaukee averaging 33, 13, and 6. When you got a guy in Denver,
elite player in the league. It's more than 2 elite players in the league.
No. I'm going down the list.
Players in the league, Lee.
Hold on. I'm going down the list.
I'm not saying that he's better than Joker. I ain't saying that he's better than Giannis. I ain't saying that he's better than Luka, even though it's gotten closer than what I thought it was coming into the season. It's gotten closer. However, those other guys, you ain't selling me them other guys. You're not. You're not selling me those other guys.
I'm selling you those other guys because those other guys, if we just talking about two or three of them, have been in MVP conversations for the last 4 to 5, 6 years. 2 of them got 2 MVPs. 2 of them got multiple MVPs. We talking about Giannis. We talking about Joker. 2 of them got 2. That's what they got on their record.
He finished 4th last year in league MVP votes. He finished in the top 5. This year, he finished 6th.
Right.
So what are we talking about, Lee? What are we doing?
Here's the thing about him finishing in those categories. Everything, bro. You go from looking at the numbers 27 and 8 and saying and seeing him finish in 4th and be like, yo, he elite, man. He up there with them.
That was last year. That was last year. That was last year.
Last year. And last year he was averaging 30. He was averaging career highs.
He finished 4th.
And then you saw that, and then you said, yeah, he elite, bro. Look, he doing what they doing. Not necessarily. If you look at what Luka is doing every year, they need him to damn near average 34, 9, and 9. They need Joker.
How do you not need 30 a game, Lee? How do you not need that, man? How do you not need 27 a game? How do you not need that?
On this team.
How do you not need that?
On this team.
I'm not saying that this team, hold up, Leak. I'm not saying that this team isn't a well-rounded unit. And on any night, Derek White, I'm not saying that Porzingis isn't the difference. Porzingis is the difference in this unit. Just like Dennis Rodman was the difference on the Bulls. If Dennis Rodman ain't on the Bulls, they ain't winning. Because he's the difference in that unit. So what I'm saying is you have teams that have difference makers, but you still need this dude. And the fact that you talk about him like he's just one of the cogs. He might not be. I'm not saying that he's better than Joker. I think Joker's the best player in the world. The jury is out. The jury is out. The indictment hasn't been handed out yet.
And I got to speak to you about something before I leave too.
But there is an investigation going on with Giannis. Twice we haven't seen him in the playoffs, so that matters.
Right. Okay.
Luka, on the other hand, I feel like there's some separation coming right now between Luka and Tatum. With that being said, all them other dudes, I ain't doing this. I'm not doing this better at basketball because I seen him outplay Joel Embiid in the playoffs. I seen that. I seen him outplay Joel Embiid in the playoffs. So I ain't buying that. Add that to the fact that Joel Embiid can't hold up. The fact that Joel Embiid can't hold up, I can't put him ahead of Jason Tatum. With all of that being said, with all of that I just said, as good as this unit is, Jason Tatum is the engine. He's the engine.
Right. Listen, and that may be true. And I'm fine with you saying that may be true. But at the same time, if you're looking for him to, I guess, quote unquote, carry, if you may, and I don't want to say carry as if he has to, because he doesn't clearly on this team. But if you look at those other teams, Philly goes as Joel goes. If he breaks down, that's it. That's it. Joker goes. Denver goes as Joker goes. He breaks down. That's it. That's it. The Bucks go as Giannis go. If he breaks down, that's it.
And if Jason Tatum broke down, they're not in the NBA Finals. They're not. They're not in the NBA Finals if Jason Tatum ain't on this crew. And Leak, I gotta go, brother. I got.
Yo, what's going on with you and Dub, man? I saw that video.
Dub ain't do nothing, but I think that was.
Did he make him? Did he make the case that I made?
I didn't even, to be honest with you, I didn't even see the video because I ain't paying no attention to Dub like that. No, I didn't even see it.
All right. Okay.
It's like listening to a diss track. Get that shit out of here. I'm good.
It's like listening to a diss track. Okay, all right.
I'm straight.
I saw the video, but I think you might want to just take a look at it.
No, I'm good. All right, Leaf, I'm out. What up?
Hey, Chill.
What up?
How's it going?
Going good, brother.
Chill, I think he'll bounce back from this, to be honest with you. Like he talked about this in post-game interview. He said, every time I dribble, 3 people show up all the time. He'll bounce back from this. I think he'll have a better scoring night for sure. There's no way in hell I see him just shoot this bad for the entire series.
Yeah.
He shot 6 of 22, Chill. 6 of 22. That's under 40%.
And he took the most shots.
He took the most shots.
The most shots of everybody.
Missed layups that he would normally make. Missed shots in the mid range and shots 3-point line that he normally would make. What's going on with him?
I think he's putting too much pressure on himself, to be honest with you.
He did say that. He said they asked him about his first finals appearance. He went and said, I was anxious, I was nervous, I panicked. I think that's what's going on here. I think he's nervous.
I think he's putting too much pressure on himself. They call that choking, to be honest with you. And, I mean, he's averaging, 17 and a half? He's averaging 17 and a half and 10. 17 and a half.
He's almost averaging a triple-double, yeah.
Yeah, he is. But even still, I don't see that separation, and I want to see it. That's what I want to see more than anything. I want to see that.
What do you think the conversation is going to be if he wins a championship with this kind of performance?
It's going to be exactly what the conversation that I just had with Lee. It's going to be that kind of conversation. It's going to be they win by committee. He's really not that guy. He was on a bomb squad, when in reality, that's not the case.
They don't make it to the finals without him.
They don't make it this deep. Forget the finals. They don't make it this deep into the playoffs without him. They don't beat Indiana without him. I don't think they beat. I'm not sure if they beat Cleveland without him.
People don't understand how much of an integral role Jason Tatum plays into this Celtic roster. He is like you say, Jaylen Brown's better in this or that, but like even the Celtics roster have said, we don't make it this far without JT. They don't make it that far.
They know that. And we all know that. So I ain't surprised.
We all know that. Real quick question, Chill, just to kind of get away from basketball real quick. What do you think contract negotiations are going to be like? You think he's re-signing? That guy in red, 49ers?
Yes.
Because he hasn't showed up to camp.
Who are you talking about?
Ayuk.
Oh, they're not going. He's not going to play under the franchise tag. I can tell you that right now. He's not. Unfortunately, he is not playing under the franchise tag. And the fact that we re-signed Debo, and we already locked up, and we just locked up McCaffrey, it's going to be tough to hold on to Ayuk. It is.
You trading him? You thinking about trading him?
I think we can get a deal done. If they franchise tag him, they could at least trade him. I don't like getting rid of him. I want to hold on to him. I do.
But JJ got paid a lot of money.
Yeah.
He got paid like $130 million. He wants his money, Chill.
I know he does it. Why wouldn't
your best bet is probably trading him?
I just don't think it's in the budget for what he's going to command. I think he's looking at a $15-16 million a year salary, and I don't think.
I'll tell you what, our boys in blue over there in New England, we'll pay him.
Knock yourself out.
You can send him our way.
Knock yourself out, brother. Good to talk to you, man. What up?
Yo, what up, Chuck? Can you hear me?
What up? Yep, you hot.
Yeah, man. I remember I talked with you yesterday at halftime. I was down. But now that we won the game, man, I'm back on my nonsense. And bro, I hate how these people talk about Tatum. And honestly, like, I don't even care how bad he's playing. If they win the chip, for people to use that against him, that he have a good team, that's nonsense to me, because he's a part of the team that people think is so great. And I just hate how people I hate how people use like this term winning bias. Like, there's no such thing as a winning bias. You play the game to win. This is a team game.
Well, winning does change things. Winning does change things for people.
But chill, the game is about winning. And I understand you can't. So I'm a stats guy. I think stats matter. But I think every stat matters. And winning is a stat. So when you got these guys that are in the top tiers, like I can't say that Derek Fisher is better than somebody like Carmelo. Because we know that Derek Fisher's not on that tier. But like somebody like, if I'm comparing LeBron to Michael Jordan, because Michael Jordan to me three-peated twice and he has 6 rings, I think the 6 rings versus LeBron's 4 rings, that separates them because he won more. So we got to get rid of this term, the winning bias. And then even with people like me, I'm a huge Scottie Pippen fan.
Right.
And this might be irrelevant, but I think it is kind of relevant. People always get on Scottie for like being a number 2, saying he wasn't the number 1. But I got a question for you, Till. What duo? Let's say you have the Houston Rockets roster in '94 and '95 when they went back to back.
Yeah.
What duo do you think would have been better? An Elijah Wan Scottie Pippen duo, or an Elijah Wan Michael Jordan duo? Because I think an Elijah Wan Scottie Pippen duo would have been better. Because like you said, everybody has their role.
Scottie Pippen was more of a point forward, so his game meshes a lot better with Elijah Wan because he gets off the ball. Jordan gets off the ball too, but Jordan is more of a scorer than he is a distributor. And because he's more of a scorer than he is a distributor, that may not be conducive with Elijah Wan's game.
Right.
You know, Jordan is a willing passer. He is a willing passer. He will get off the ball, but Scotty, that's his game, actually.
So look, chill. My point is, Scotty being able to fit with other players, that should go into what makes him a great player. Even though Jordan was the number one, it's 5-on-5. The way some of these people be talking, they should just make the NBA a one-on-one league. Then we can really see who the best player is. But in a 5-on-5 game, you have to the intangible stuff matter. You have to be able to give your players confidence. If you switch Luka and Tatum, I think the way we talk about Kyrie, the way we talk about PJ Washington, they gonna talk about Derek White the same way. I've seen Derek White have bad games. Drew Holiday is one of my favorite players. I've seen him have bad games, and they would kill them if he played with Luka. But playing with Tatum, I don't know what it is. Like I said, I was hard on him yesterday. I was emotional, but now I'm over that. Something about playing with Tatum. He
You
is a
saw me
natural
yesterday.
winner.
You
Yeah,
saw me yesterday at
a winner.
halftime. I was
And
pissed
we
at
gotta
him.
stop this. We gotta stop this nonsense, man. If Tatum wins the championship, I don't care if he wins final MVP or not. His resume, he has been first team All NBA like 3 times in a row.
That
He's
matters,
been
man.
to 5 Eastern Conference Finals.
Yeah,
He
that
averaged
matters.
30 last year. He averaged 26 this year. And he's
27.
a champion? Right? Bro, come on, man. I just wanted to win a chip. I'm ready for this season. Like, I don't want the season to end because I love basketball, but I'm ready for them to win this chip so I can really go crazy with these narratives.
We're gonna find out, brother. Yes, we are. Yes, we are. Good to talk to you, Classic. I appreciate
you, man.
No doubt. I got another super chat that I gotta read from Anthony. He said, "What's my thoughts on the Lakers? Thoughts on Lakers will go after Jay Wright." Nah, I don't think Jay Wright is the guy. I think it's 2 guys, and I actually had this conversation earlier. Pick up the telephone, call up the Celtics, check Sam Cassell's temperature. Ask to talk to Sam Cassell. Pick up the telephone, call the Warriors, ask to talk to Kenny Atkinson. Those are the 2 guys that I'm thinking about. I'm not a fan of this recycling bad coaching. I'm not. Let's get some new blood in here. The Celtics proved it. The Celtics proved it. Toronto proved it with Nick Nurse. So, absolutely, get some new blood in here, man. More than anything. So, I'm way over time. Right, I'm way over time, and I was only supposed to be here for an hour tonight. I got wrapped up in talking basketball. Max 456. I promise you, you will never be allowed in my chat again, ever. I don't dislike you. I hate you. I really don't like you in particular. I don't. And you will not be allowed in my chat again. I promise you that. Today is the last day that you will ever be allowed in my chat. You can bet your bottom dollar on that. No doubt about that. You will never be allowed in my chat again after today. I promise you that. No questions asked. So, with that being said, it was great to see you guys, right? It was great to see you guys tonight. We absolutely have the NBA Finals. We got a couple of days in between, right? We got a couple of days in between. And in the process of us having a couple of days in between, we get to talk about some other basketball stuff. So I will be back soon. I will see you guys soon. But until then, put on a suit, drink water, don't drink and drive. Hey, man, call your mother. I just saw my mother this weekend. I did. I just saw my mother this weekend. She's doing great. I will see you guys soon. Until then, take it light, but take it. It's good to see you guys, man. Absolutely.